Awesome. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. I'm super excited for today's episode of Winners Wednesday. This is an episode that we do every single week with top producers all over the country. And we've got one of our newest rock stars, Miss Ali Garced. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Micah?
Doing good, doing good. Thank you so much for joining us. I say good morning, good afternoon, because it's officially afternoon my time, but it's still morning your time. So,
It's good morning.
and so Ali joins us all the way from Tucson, Arizona. Ali, I know that you're fairly new into real estate, but you've been absolutely a rock star. It's really been fun watching your journey. And so I'm excited to share this with the viewers, especially as we come into this market shift and to show, what's possible in the short amount of time that you've done it. But for those that don't know you, do you mind just giving a short introduction and how you got into real estate?
Yeah, would love to. I am Ali Garced on all social media. I'm Ali the agent. And I got into real estate actually. Oh, I guess I'll say where I live. I live in Tucson, Arizona. I just separated from the military after 10 years.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
yeah, now I am a military spouse. So I won't be in Tucson, Arizona forever, but at least for the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I got into real estate first through viewing my parents. My parents are in real estate. My dad used to be a mortgage broker
Okay.
and also a landlord. So I would see the calls that he would actually get at 2 in the morning.
This is true, right? It's not as
Yeah.
glorified as what it seems, right?
Right. My dad has always been very hands-on. So he never did the property management, part of it. He never allowed someone else to manage his properties. It was like, I can do it better, the Puerto Rican way. So,
Yes.
so I grew up with that. I always had that, in the back of my mind and entrepreneurship and all of that. And then I joined the military. Not the most entrepreneur move, but it was a great start. I got to travel a ton and I got to use the VA loan twice.
Nice.
So my first really introduction to real estate overall was first purchasing and then becoming a landlord. So I invested after that. Now I have like 7 doors, 6 properties. One of them is a duplex and in a couple of different states. And
Wow.
so I originally got my license mainly to be an investor. And then I realized how much of a business this is. And I fell in love. So now I'm helping buyers and sellers mainly in the military community just because that's what I know best. So VA loan, got that down, for buyers and sellers. So I love that. And I'm excited to see where this goes.
That's interesting. So I appreciate you sharing that story. So you basically became an investor first, and then you got into real estate as a licensee, which is actually very similar to my story. So how long have you been licensed now?
I have been licensed for 15 months. Yeah, a little over a year.
That's interesting. So what are some of the things that you're kind of preparing for? Because obviously you've done extremely well for the last 15 months. And we've had a much different market, I would say, the last 24 months than what's normal. But what was really that trigger that not only made you get into real estate, but was really your key to success thus far?
Yeah. So first, I'll start with a trigger to really get into real estate. My wife had actually been telling me and suggesting that I get my realtor license. And I always thought, no, I don't want to just open doors and show kitchens. And, I'm not cutesy like that because I just think numbers. Like if it's in the green, buy it. If you have enough reserves, purchase it. So I really thought originally that my biggest clientele would be investors just because that's my background.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually ended up not being. Anyway, so after I got over the mental, I think, roadblock, because I think it was pride, and I'm actually going to make a YouTube video off of this, where I said no for years. I was like, no, I don't want to get my realtor license. I don't want to show houses. I don't want to just drive all over town. But then I realized how much KPI is involved, and it's an entire business. It's a sales funnel. You have to market. And I liked that. I never even realized that was like a thing that realtors did. I always thought all they do is just open doors. Boy, was I wrong. Oh my
Well, I
gosh.
think we all think that right before we get licensed. I remember before I got licensed, I tried to be a for sale by owner. I was like, oh, it's easy, right? And then you get licensed and you're like, oh, there's 1,000 things you do in a transaction.
Yes. And a lot of things you do behind the scenes to keep the deal alive.
Right.
So after I realized that, that's when I was like, wait, I could make this an actual business. And at that time, I knew that I wanted to leave the military. And in the military, I was a special agent. So a federal agent working felony level crimes. And I think that's
Wow.
where my pride was coming in, where it's like NCIS for the Navy, but I did that for the Air Force. Um, and
Wow.
so I think that's where my pride came in. I was like, anybody can be a realtor. Anybody can be a real estate agent. The barrier is like actually kind of low, but
Mhm.
the amount of grit and determination that you need in order to succeed is so high. And I found that as a challenge. I was like, you know what? Okay. So I overcame that mental obstacle in my own head. And yeah, my first year, I had 20 transactions, and I
Wow.
have since then recruited, I've expanded my team to like 16, 17 agents.
That's amazing. I mean, you've got agents that have been in the industry 15 years, not 15 months, and they don't have 16 agents. So, and I really appreciate you sharing the story, because I think now more than ever, with the market shift that we're having, I know I'm going off script a little bit here, but more than ever, it's really going to separate those that got into the easy industry, right, and those that really treat it as a true profession. Because, like you said, for the most part, there is a low barrier of entry, and so this is really going to separate those that kind of do it as a hobby versus really as a profession. So where would you mentioned a couple different things as far as your military background and your investor background, but what would you say has been the number one key to your success in getting those 20 transactions over the last 15 months? I mean, that averages more than one, almost 1.5 per month.
Yeah. Good question. First, I will start with more of like, not theoretical, but just general. And then I'm going to go into like actual tactical, uh, grit,
very,
determination.
very military, right? No.
Step one, step two.
No, I'm just kidding. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, because I don't want to just say something that like doesn't have substance.
Right.
So determination, hard work. Like I am determined to make this work. 87% of realtors fail within the first year or something like that.
2 years. Yep.
Okay, yeah, I am determined to not be that person. And I really think what helped me out was, yes, I got started during like the biggest, sales peak in my real estate history. But on that side, I was the buyer side. I represented mainly buyers during the time where it was the hardest time to get your buyer's offers accepted, and I would get mine accepted. How I would do that is doing things that other agents don't do. First of all, call the listing agent, establish a good relationship with them. I didn't know really any realtors here in the area before I got licensed. So introducing myself, smiling, having a little bit of charm, being just a little bit upbeat, they that will make the difference in order to get your buyer's offers accepted. So just like the hard work that I had, I was just all in. And then to get more like tactical, the group that I joined, that's what's made a huge difference for me. Oh my gosh. I interviewed, I bleep you not. I interviewed like 12 different brokerages before I made a decision. I am one of those that,
Wow.
yeah, I am very analytical. I don't want to make the wrong choice, as if you can't move afterward. You can, but I didn't want that hassle. So I realized that all of the people that I had been following from afar that are in the FI financial independence community, that are also realtors, they were all making the switch to EXP. And I was like, what is this about? So I did some more research on EXP, and like also those that were investors too. Just everyone that I admired, all of a sudden on Instagram, I saw them go moving to EXP, moving from Keller Williams to EXP. And I was like, okay, well, I just interviewed with Keller Williams. I thought it was pretty good. And then I interviewed with EXP, and a couple with EXP. I knew EXP was the option, or not the option. That was where I was going. Now it's just a matter of finding which sponsor, which family to join, because the amount of resources that you get varies so much from EXP family to EXP family. So going into more like tactical is I joined Five Pillars team with Shelby Osborne, and the amount of information that is all there for you was so helpful. She's all about checklists. So I have I used those checklists. I created my own, like even more specific for our MLS, for the agents that I've since sponsored in, how to create an LLC in Arizona, literally everything, how to create a YouTube channel, how to do a YouTube ad, everything. And that has helped me a lot. So in that Google Drive that we have, like it has canned emails for buyers, sellers, investors, everything. You don't have to even think about an email because in this business, it's a business. So try to replicate as much as you can while still delivering the same customer service. That helped me a ton. I will say you have to go out there and teach yourself. No one is going to handhold you, and you shouldn't want to
Right.
be, you shouldn't want to have your hand held. Take that step, take initiative. Yeah.
Right. Well, and I think, you bring a really valid point is a lot of times, support is huge, right? Support is, none of us want to work alone, and we don't want to reinvent the wheel. If the wheel's already been run, let's just rip off and duplicate. But at the end of the day, when people get into real estate, they forget that they're entrepreneurs, that they're essentially opening their own business. And as you mentioned, Ali, nobody's going to do it for you. So there's a difference between, I always talk about support and partnership, but that is different, that you still have to take the initiative and you still have to be self-motivated because, you are essentially the CEO of your own business. So I love that you mentioned that. Now, how did you come across the 5 Pillars group and Shelby Osborne? Obviously, I know all of them. They're within our EXP family. They're absolutely phenomenal. And like you mentioned, they have investor backgrounds as well as licensed real estate agents and top selling producers. So how did you initially run across them and make that introduction?
Yeah, it was actually through Bigger Pockets podcast. I listened to Shelby's podcast. This is years ago.
Wow.
Like back when I first discovered, financial independence and just all of that, the FIRE movement. So I listened to that and I just had it in the back of my mind because I related to her. We were also we were both Air Force, or not Air Force, but military officers that she separated at the time. I was just considering separating. And fast forward to when I was interviewing brokerages, that's when I had that in the back of my mind. It came back to the front of my mind. And I was
Funny how that happens.
Yeah, I know. So I reached out to her and I was actually the first agent that she expanded to nationwide. At that time, she only had the team in North Carolina. So it was new for her. It was new for me. And that gave me even more determination, knowing that the whole team is in North Carolina, but I have the resources. That helped so much. And after having joined, at that time, I only knew Shelby, right? And I didn't even know her. I never even met her in person. That was a funny thing. I was like, I heard you on a podcast. I want to join your team. And she was like, awesome. We're a team without 18 splits. And I was like, even better. So I was like, I'm in. Where do I sign? Because at that point I had done so much research already. And team without any team splits. I mean, that's what I'm doing now is with the team here. We're an informal team. And that was just, it blew every other team out of the water. So it was a no-brainer. That helped a ton. And then after having joined the team, meeting Ruben Garcia, meeting you, I just can't believe how much access we have to such a senior partner in EXP. I think it's very rare to find. And look at that. We're having a one-on-one now, and you and I have never met in person, but we see each other every Friday because you make yourself available. I don't see that anywhere else. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate, no, thank you. And I love seeing your growth, as I mentioned. And like we said, this is a partnership. I think that's one of the things that sets the EXP model, unique from other brokerages, is the fact that, yes, you're an independent agent. Yes, you're the CEO of your own business, but you do have a support system. And honestly, senior partners, as you mentioned, that are truly invested in you and your success. So I appreciate you mentioning that, because I think outside looking in, it's a little hard to understand because we are used to that kind of old-fashioned team model where, what's in it for me and what can I get from this and what's the split and et cetera. So I think that's interesting. Now, beyond, seeing everyone move over to EXP, which obviously, fastest growing brokerage in US history, was there anything that EXP, in particular, that just really made you say, this is the brokerage that I want to join, after you interviewed 12 different brokerages?
Yeah, the biggest thing was that this specific family, our family within EXP, has the model of a team without any team splits. That is what made a huge difference, along with the checklist. Everything was canned. You copy and paste. Like, it is so easy. All of the previous team meetings have been recorded. They're put in the Google Drive. And that's what I'm doing now with my own like group that I'm starting in Tucson. And that helped a ton. So aside from the checklists and the processes being available at no additional cost, it was the fact that you can expand your team. Remember, like when I first joined, I was still active duty military. I knew I was going to move. So being able to join a group and stay with that group, no matter what city or state I moved to, was huge for me. Because even if I found a perfect team outside of EXP, somewhere here in Tucson, I know that I'm going to move. And even if I didn't, there's a chance that I might move, even if I wasn't military. So being able to not be geographically restricted to whatever was within a 10-mile, 15-mile radius around me to join their team was huge for me, because I know I'm going to move and I stay with the same, nothing changes. I stay with the same team, have the same resources, have the same canned emails. And the only thing that changes is I just need to get my, license for that new state that I moved to. That was huge.
Local guidelines, right? I mean, that's, I tell people all the time, I'm like, licensed in Oklahoma, Florida, live in Puerto Rico. I can do that because we don't have the geographical boundaries. It doesn't get much better than that, right? For anyone that's watching this live, give us a little bit of love, heart, comment. If you have any questions for Ali, go ahead and comment below and we'll try to get to it. And so you mentioned something that I want to highlight, Ali, is, over the last 15 months that you've been licensed, you've now built out, we'll call it an organization, if you will, within EXP of 16 agents. What really made you decide so quickly to go from being a single agent to start building out your own expansion organization?
Yeah, I realized while I can't even talk anymore. While exploring, while doing like even more research and talking to other people in the team, Ruben, Shelby, you, I realized how powerful revenue share is, where you can grow, you can have your own business within a business. And that was so eye-opening to me. And so that's what I wanted to show others, is that they can also have their business within a business. So for example, I have a couple of couples on my team, and one spouse wants to do more transactions. The other one wants to be a little bit more, investor minded or whatever they want to do. So I like run the numbers with them and show them that the one who doesn't want to do as many transactions should be first. They should then sponsor in the agent that is going to be doing more transactions, and just show them the power of revenue share. That's huge. It's really big.
I love that. And I love what you're taking, what your senior partners have provided you, and then now you're duplicating your own systems and processes. There's a phrase out there, if it's not duplicatable, then it doesn't exist, right? So I like how you're making your own processes duplicatable. So with that said, you're crushing it. You're going to continue to crush it. What are some of your future plans? Where are we going to see Ali in the next few years?
Yes. So by December 2023, my 1-year goal is to expand the team to 50 agents, 50. My 5-year goal is 200, although with like not compounding, but naturally it's
right.
Most likely going to be more than that. I just want to show everyone that, oh man, this is like, I don't know, such a good business. I just am still like totally in love with real estate, and like sales and everything. Because everything is there for them. If they just need to do a little bit of work, a little bit of research, you can have an unlimited income, which is so nice from my switch from being in the military where your paycheck is capped. You're making that amount and that amount only.
Right.
So my goal is actually to teach other military members that, one, they should get their license, because they always know of someone PCSing, get a referral fee out of that. By connecting them to an agent is so easy, like 20, 30 people every single PCS every single year. That alone will more than like tenfold pay for your license.
Well, and EXP has they just rolled out a referral division too. So that might be a whole nother conversation, but
Oh, true. Yeah, I need to do more research on that. So yeah, my by one year from now is to grow the team 50 agents, and then 5-year goal is 200 agents, while also still selling because I really like that. Those are my goals.
I love it. That's awesome. So for agents that are watching this, whether it be live or, on a replay on YouTube or what have you, and they'd love to, get to know you, get to see your systems and processes and what that partnership might look like, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Social media, Instagram, YouTube. It's Ali the agent. I have it here on like the handle here. It's Ali spelled ALI _the _agent. Or if you want to shoot me a text or give me a call, my phone number is 914-318-4918.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Ali. I truly appreciate you and your time. Is there anything else that maybe we didn't cover that you'd like to share with the audience today?
Oh man, we didn't cover a lot. We can go on forever. We can do a part 2.
Right. I was going to say, well, there might be an episode 2, but yes.
Yeah.
That's
Thank you so
awesome.
much.
No, thank you. This was a great Winners Wednesday episode. And like I said, we really wanted to showcase and highlight you in the little time that you've been in real estate. You've been extremely successful. So we just are excited to see your continued success. And I have no doubt that you're going to hit the 200 agents or more. So thank you so much, Ali. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Mega.
Bye.
Bye.